Okay, after you get your chessboard done and you've got your chess pieces on there, you've got all the chess pieces, what we're going to do is to just animate a couple of moves on your chessboard and also pan across the board with the camera. So I need to find my camera first. Click the eyeball, make sure it's there. There's my camera up there. I'm going to start in a different position and do black first. So if I hit 0 on my keypad, it brings me into the camera view. I can unlock the view, make it a little bigger, lock it again, and then move around. So I'm going to change the view to this view here, and I'm going to move one of these black pieces first. So if I click on it, I've got these all selected together because they're the same object. When I duplicated it, that's what happened. It put them all as one object, so I need to separate them. If yours, I'll do that real quick. If yours is that way, you can do the same. Need to separate one. I'm going to separate this one out so I can move it. So I will go into edit mode, top view 7 on the keypad, Z for wireframe, and B for border select. Select that one right there, hit P on the keyboard, and separate by selection. Okay, now if I go back to edit mode or object mode and right click, I've got my one object that I can move around freely. So we're going to use the keyframes, if it will let me. Nope, okay. So I've got the keyframes down here. I'll start with number 1. Keyframe number 1 and set a keyframe. I want it to start right here. So I on the keyboard and location, rotation, scale. Then I'm going to go, this move will take me about 2 seconds, so I'll go to about 45, frame 45. It's not exactly 2 seconds, but close enough. It's easier to round that way or to calculate. And I'm going to move it out to, where? Right here, why not? When I've got it there and I'm on the right frame, I'll set a keyframe. Okay, so I can see my move. Then when I'm out, I'll go another 5 frames before I start panning with the camera. So I'm on frame 50. And now I need to locate my camera. Right click on my camera and it gives me a new set of frames, but my keyframes are still there. Oh, there we go. My keyframes are still moving that piece. I just can't see them because I'm selected on the camera. Now if I go into camera view, this I need to set, let's see, I need to go which frame I ended on, which was 50, and set a frame there. That's where I'm going to start my pan. Now I'm going to just pan over to this view, zoom in a little bit. Wherever I stop, that's where it's going to stop. And I need to, I need to select my, so this pan's going to take about 3 seconds. So 3 seconds at 24 frames per second is about 75. So from 50, 75 is what, 125. So I'll go to frame 125 and then I'll pan, get the right view for my pan. And I'm going to take this chess piece out next to the other one. So I'll stop right there and set a keyframe. And then I can scrub through my keyframes and it shows my pan. Okay, now I don't really want it to zoom in like that. So if I come out of the camera view, zoom out a little, I can see my camera flying through the air. It just kind of goes straight across the board. And I want it to come out a little bit. So I'm going to stop about a third of the way in, bring it out a little bit, and set a keyframe. I'm going to go another third and pull it out a bit and set another keyframe, and then it kind of comes out around the board a little better. Okay, and I could set, you could set as many keyframes as you want to make it more smooth. Mine's not going to be real smooth, but it's good enough for now. So if I go back in, I can see my camera view, and that's kind of nice. So it stops right there. I'm going to give it 5 frames to settle, and then come back out. I'll click on my white piece, change my view. This white piece I've already separated, so I'll right click on it to select it, set a keyframe there, and then pull it out next to the other piece. I don't know if that's a correct chess move, but whatever. So now, I need to move my keyframes. So that will be about 2 seconds, a little less than 2 seconds because it's not quite as far as the other one. So from frame 130, we'll go about 20 frames to 150. And then move him out and set a keyframe, and I'll go 5 more and then we'll be done. So I don't need these extra frames. If I render, it's going to render all that's in gray, light gray, so I need to get rid of those others. So it ends at about 155, so I'll just go to 155, and that's all the keyframes that it will render. Okay, and I can't see my camera's moving, but I can't see it unless I'm in camera view. But that's the animation. If I go to camera view, I guess I can look at all of the moves. My first move, it pans around, and the second move there, and then stops. So that's basic animation for this. If you wanted to do, you could do as many moves as you wanted. Of course, you wouldn't want to pan back and forth every time, maybe every few moves or a couple times throughout the game. But do that, render it. Remember when you render to come down to the options, and you need to select the folder that you're rendering it to and select AVI JPEG. And if it's the right folder and give it a name, then when you hit render, animation render, it will go through and render it. And depending on how many modifiers you have on it, it might take a really long time, because video takes a long time. You have 155 frames, which isn't a ton, but it's more than we've done, and it might take a little while. So if you do it correctly, it will give you a file, and you can get that file and submit it to Canvas.